time to fight in the court of life, where not all balls are golden and nets are a sentence. I'm Araknie and I'm not about to sell you any of those shitty crypto, it's just World Court Tennis. I introduce you to the Dragon Quest of sports. As you can see, it's not a joke. It's a tennis game with an adventure mode and light RPG elements, nothing too difficult to understand. That's important since this is a very niche title I'm pulling out today, so being able to 100% a game without a guide means it's not too bad on that front. I finished it in less than 10 hours too, and that's another important factor, you'll see why. But first of all the controls, and in this case I wanna talk about tennis. How is the simulation? Would be perfect if not for one big mistake. Basically with button 1 you throw a slow shot and with 2 you do a fast shot. Plus a bunch of other nuances typical of the sport that are quite nicely represented. They are mostly tied to the D-pad, and if you tap or press a direction you have a different reaction. In the first case you do a more complicated move, while in the second you do just decide where it goes but with more strength. So be careful because the more you upgrade your equipment the more you risk overdoing it. But the biggest problem was the perspective on the back half of the court. It's warped in a way that doesn't make clear when the ball is far away or really close to you. When you're on the far side of the field, you're gonna take 2/3 of your playthrough simply learning how to behave on that side. It's pretty weird and a major bummer. Especially since this game doesn't have any leveling up, so unless you really get good at doing everything you will not finish this game. I managed because I developed a tactic. After 3 hours of playing, that really worked for me. I won't say that it's good anyway because I could make mistakes and more difficult shots like lobs and smashes. So difficult to understand that after hours of training you can still make mistakes. That's not a good sign and a massive misstep. I won't suggest anything for you because I don't know, maybe my tactics aren't good for you. But the majority of the role playing comes from the fact that you can select your character to be male or female and also have to put a name. The rest is a bit of warm-up exploration, random battles that turn into one-game matches against various opponents. They are styled towards real tennis players circa 1988, so you might see some recognizable faces here and there. But yeah, 1988, you heard me right, this is so early on for such a game and one that knows to be rightfully short too. There's a general plot and it's pretty unique and a good lesson to everybody. An evil king of tennis is fighting against the good king of tennis. They have made all tennis courts require a payment to play in, while our nice monarch wants them to be free. In this game we basically want sports to actually be available to everybody without the barrier of entry that usually this sport requires. The stigma is not as bad as it used to be, but it's still considered a white people activity, so yeah, keep making it cheaper to participate. Mens sana in corpore sano, after all. The other big element is upgrading your gear. They are graded from F to A, so when you find a shop that has a better letter type racket, for example, gladly buy it. If you can't, just random battle some people outside of town and you'll get it soon. Game is short, so you can guess that it doesn't take long to make money too. But yeah, just explore, there's a bunch of secrets to find that make the final boss easier. It's pretty good that they did that. The better rackets just made it so you have more range for hitting back balls. Shirts make you able to avoid random battles. That's important because you're gonna be asked by people if you wanna play a game against them. You can say no, but if your shirt doesn't inspire respect, they might be pushing and force you anyway. So this helps immensely for pure exploration without having to constantly be interrupted. The shoes make you move faster on the court. Very important, the more you move into areas of the warm-up where better players are situated. Aside from that, the graphics are very basic. I don't expect much, but the warm-up doesn't really scream 16-bit console. It's clearly a very hastily put together project, so they didn't spend much time pushing the console. It's proof that it released so early in the TurboGrafx life. The tennis matches fare a lot better. Nice detailed sprites with a lot different looking characters and not too much repetition even among the spectators. Plus at least 20 different looking opponents you can find that don't change only appearance, but also get different skill levels and moves that they do. Not bad. The music instead is very minimal, and that's a pity because they didn't knew they were using Junko Ozawa. She's a great composer and here are some nice tunes, but most of them are really short, so they couldn't make much work. They didn't know what they had here yet on their hands, so I understand, but man, what a pity. There's 3 tunes that are a bit longer and they are catchy and happy-go-lucky. The perfect fit for this game, but it's not enough. In the end, the big difficulty curve of the start of the game is very hard to get over. It takes too much time to get the hang of the controls and also develop a winning strategy overall. So I feel forced to give World Court Tennis a 6 out of 10. The length is perfect for the amount of work they put in the game. It just needed to be more immediate. Still, at least it didn't end up being another battle golfer Yui. If you wanna see me play the games that I will review plus some extra stuff, catch me on Twitch at Araknie Retro. It's my natural habitat, you see? Until next time, ciao ciao!